I know what you're thinking. References. I love doing references. Not, right? I get it. The problem is, anytime you go out and find information, which I'm going to ask you to do for this speech class, you're going to be doing for a lot of other classes, you need to cite your sources. You can't just steal people's work, but I'm going to show you how to do that and make it easy, okay? I'm going to show you oral and in-text citations. It's the same thing, they go together. And then reference list citations. Those reference list citations must match your oral citation. In an oral citation, very simple. You need the author and the date. So in an oral citation, let's say I looked up something on the Mayo Clinic website. I would go, according to the Mayo Clinic, on September 1st, 2021, they stated blah, 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 right? So I gave you the author and gave you the date. Now, if I gave you an author that we didn't know about, you'd have to credential that person, tell me who they are. So I can just go, according to John Jones, in his article on December 3rd, 2021, he stated, it's like, who's John Jones? But if it's somebody we know, then you don't need to credential them. So if I said, according to Anthony Fauci, in his research conducted in 2021, he found that, right, we know who Anthony Fauci is. Or you should know who Anthony Fauci is. You could easily look him up, okay? So it's pretty simple, author and date. Whatever author you give us has to match the reference list, which I'm going to show you right now. So let's go to the reference list. And we are following the 7th edition of the manual of the American Psychological Association. So this manual tells us exactly how to do our references. About half this book is dedicated to references. And there's a lot of different ways. The ways, I'm going to set this down. The ways I'm going to show you how to do the reference. I'm going to show you what's going to cover about 90% of what you do. The other 10% you're going to have to look up in the book. Don't ask me, I was listening to a radio program. How do I cite that? I'm going to go look it up in the manual. It's in there, but off the top of my head, I don't know. I'm going to tell you the most common ways to cite sources, okay? On the webpage that we're on right now with this video, in there it talks about the APA, the American Psychological Association, that manual, says there's 4 components to every single source citation for your reference list. Those 4 components are the author, the date, the title of the work, and then also the source. Where did you get it from? Okay, I'm going to show you how to cite all 4 of those to make up a reference. So most of us are going to do our research off the internet. So let's show you the most popular ways to look up something on the internet. Now, if your source has no author, if there's no corporate author, which would be like the Mayo Clinic, the US Census Bureau, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, any of these big organizations, or a person. So if you have no organization, a corporate author, or a person, if you have no author, do not use it. In most cases, get it approved by me first before you use it, because with no author, the credibility is it's really low, and you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're using stuff that's not credible. So make sure you have the author. Now for let's say a person, let's go person first. If you did, let's say I published something. The way you do it is the author first, Graham, comma, first name initial, not the whole name, just the initial. S for Stephen with a V, in case you wanted to know. Period. Okay? That's the name. After the author, that's me, and that must, again, match whatever you say for your oral citation. Hey, in Dr. Stephen Graham's article on communication disorders in September 2nd, 2022, he stated, right? I'm giving you my name, okay? Don't put in doctor. That was just credentialing because nobody knows me. I'm a nobody. So we have S. Graham. In here, then we have the date. The date always goes year first, month, day. So we'll have 2022, December 30th, period. There's that component. So we have the author, we have the date of the publication. Next up's the title, whatever I titled my work. So if I wrote an article, there'll be a title on the article. If it's the web page, then there'll be title on the web page, whatever it is. So let's just say, great. And then write it in sentence case for your title. Also, when you get down to the second line, indent a 1/2 inch. The 1/2 inch is like 1 tab over. Indent it. Great speakers are made not born. Oh man, I just thought of that. That's pretty cool. Great speakers are made, not born. So it's 1/2 inch over. So now I have my title. The title of my article, if I found this article on a web page, then I must italicize. So that's going to be italics. I would italicize the title. The title gets done in italics if it's from a web page, if it's the title of a web page, it's a standalone work, or a title of a book. So anything that's standalone like a book or a web page would be italicized. Everything else, leave it in regular. Again, it's sentence case, like you would write a regular sentence, okay? And then, so the 3 components, author, date, title. The last thing is source. Where'd you get it from? So most of us are getting it from web pages. So on this case, I just put in, I copy and paste the web link. So I'm gonna make up a web page. Don't go trying to look this up because it does not exist yet. Maybe I'll write this article sometime. All right, here we go. I think most web pages would start out like HTTP. I'm probably wrong. Somebody that knows this stuff is gonna go, oh no, you're wrong. Okay, I got it. I'm wrong. I'm just making this up. And then again, indent over that 1/2 inch. Com studies equals awesome. Okay. There's our first source citation. We got all 4 components. Now, hopefully you stay with me. I'm going to do one from a corporate author. Let's do the Mayo Clinic next. So the Mayo Clinic, we start out left. It's our next one. Mayo Clinic, period. On the Mayo Clinic website, there wasn't an author. So the author is going to be the Mayo Clinic. They're the corporate author. And you'll notice this is in alphabetical order. And you'll notice that I know that this is my second source because this indentation makes all this go together. That's why you indent. And then start left with the next one. Mayo Clinic author, date. Some web pages don't have dates. Now, if the web page says last updated, you can use that for your publication date. That's fine, use that. But what if it doesn't have a date? What if you're looking on the web page, there's nothing on there about a date? Well, then you have to say, no date. ND. That means no date, no publication date, okay? There we go. Then you put in the title of the web page. Let's pick something, let's say I was looking something up, just the other day I actually did about spraining my ankle. I know I'm golfing. I sprained my ankle golfing. How do you sprain your ankle golfing? I did it. So I looked it up. Treatment for sprained, again indent, ankles, period. Sentence case. It's from a website, so I have to italicize it. I can't do that again on here. Just in your mind, know that that's italicized. The last component, the source, the web page. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. It's not really tricky, but if you say no date, if there's no publication date, in place of no date, you have to tell me the date that you went into that website and retrieved the information. So in this case, I'm gonna have to say retrieved from, almost messed up already. Retrieved in the date. So let's say the date is December 30th, 2022. And then indent from http Mayo Clinic.com. Okay? So the only thing I had to add when there's no date is the date that I went in and looked up the information. This, I'm going to give you one more thing to remember. This retrieval date is going to be used as your date in your oral and in-text citation. Remember the oral in-text citation, you got to have the author, date, and credentials. Well, if there's no date, then you got to use this date. And when you use this date, since it's not a publication date, you're going to tell us that this is your last access date. That's the date that you went in and got the information off the website. Last access. But this is what your reference list will look like. We're just going to put a title, references, and we're good to go. Make it look just like that. 90% of the time, that's what it's going to be. Okay? If you do this, perfect. You get a great score. Everything will be awesome. So just do this and you're fine. 4 components: author, date, title, and sentence case, and italicize if it's a website or book title, and copy and paste the web link. It'll take us right to it. Have fun with those source citations. This is a way to do it. You got this. No problem whatsoever.